Hello, one and all. Welcome back to yet another edition of the AGPC, Average Guy's Guide to Life podcast. You know who I am. You know what this is. You bet. Cha. How are you doing? Okay. All right. Oh, that's too bad. All right, then. Enough talking to the people that live in my head. We're back again. Remember, if you like what I do here, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll give you a word to comment later. I don't know. I can't think of one at the moment. But support me so I can keep doing these things. I mean, I'm going to keep doing them anyway. It's not like I'm getting paid to do it. I'm just a guy that likes to tell a few jokes and comment on some shit. And you're a person that doesn't have anything better to do with their life than to listen to me rant about it. I don't want you to stop doing that. This is perfect for you, okay? This is perfect. Play it while you're cooking. Play it on the shitter. Play it while you're cleaning your house. Just keep listening, okay? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go there. I didn't mean it. I don't even like myself. I'm still feeling a bit nostalgic, and I think this is going to carry over for a while. I think that I'm longing for something in the past that I can't regain. You know, something about your childhood innocence, you know? It's a cliche thing to say, but it really is something about your childhood. The things that you watch, the things that you listen to and you observe, and, you know, the world, how it used to be. You attach certain feelings to that, you know? It's like the cartoons in the 90s. I will never watch that shit like full blown like I used to. But if you were to play the theme, it's like you're transported back to that time and you can sort of feel it again. You know, it's something that you can't really touch, but you feel it. So I get that feeling, you know, it's like when you plug in a Super Nintendo or some shit. You feel like you no way in shit are you sitting there actually playing it, trying to beat the game. You're just doing it because it makes you feel something. And I got to listening to old wrestling theme songs, because those of you who listen to this podcast on a regular basis knows that I once was a huge wrestling nerd. I still am a nerd of some sort, but I think I'm one of those cool nerds. Do cool nerds still exist, or are we just back to being, you know, society's punching bags? One of society's punching bags, along with fat people. But I used to be a giant wrestling nerd. Watched it my entire life. Only in the recent few years have I kind of lost interest with it. But I was listening to old wrestling theme songs, and I mean, this is objective. They were fucking good. The wrestling themes of the late 90s to mid 2000s, they were fucking good. And I got that nostalgia feeling again. I transport myself back to watching those wrestling matches and rooting for certain people and following the storylines of this shit. And I'm thinking, well, where did it stop? What's the fucking problem here? Wrestling is still wrestling. They're still pretending to hurt each other. Still, matches are still kind of good when I do randomly put on a big pay-per-view. It's still okay, but what the fuck happened? How come I don't have that feeling currently that I used to have, that now that I'm listening to these old wrestling theme songs made me feel that way? What happened to that feeling? What the fuck happened, WWE? And a lot of people will say, oh, it's because of, you know, PG, you know, and they would compare, you know, the rise and fall of the Attitude Era and then the transition to Ruthless Aggression and then, you know, the PG era and the new era. People will say, you know, it's just not as good as the Attitude Era. I was like, okay, let's break this down. Why isn't it as good as the Attitude Era? And you'll say, oh, well, in the Attitude Era, they used to take chances. And by take chances, they mean say dirty words like damn and fuck and shit and piss. And that's true too. You know, some adult content is actually good for the brand, I think, but that's not it. Well, what else did the Attitude Era do? Well, the matches were more violent. You know, you could hit people in the head with fucking chairs and stairs and put them through flaming tables and, bury them alive. Well, they still kind of do dangerous things. You know, it's not as dangerous, but the move set of some of these wrestlers now looks more painful than a shot to the head with a chair. Like, he could just drop you on your fucking head. Like the curb stomp, for example. If the curb stomp were a real thing, you die. He's stomping your head into the ground. Like, if that was a real thing, you'd be concussed. You probably have some brain swelling, some bleeding in your brain, some hemorrhaging, and you die. There's a reason they banned that move for a little bit, and he went on to do the weakest looking pedigree in the world. But that's not it either. You know, I can't say the chair shots did it. Well, maybe the nudity. You know, the women wrestlers back then in the Attitude Era, they weren't wrestlers. They were just models who got paid to flail around in the ring and pretend to hurt each other a little bit. Worse looking than the men pretending to hurt each other. But they did it in styles of a bra and panties match, for example. Those are dead. You can't put on a bra and panties match in 2021. I personally wouldn't mind, but you can't do that. You know, times have changed, and women's empowerment and all that stuff. And they're actually getting the chance to actually put on good matches. And I like that. Before women's wrestling took that turn, back when I was playing the WWE video games, I used to have women rosters, like 100 women rosters saved on a memory card. If anyone remembers PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, used to have these little memory card things. I had a full women's roster on the memory card, and I liked to watch them wrestle. I used to simulate the matches. So I don't think the nudity has anything to do with it. And there's porn. There's free porn everywhere now. You know, you don't have to fap it to fucking Tori Wilson or Trish Stratus anymore. You know, you ain't gotta fucking look at their bikini special on UPN, tape it, and then fap later to what you recorded on their fucking bikini special. And I know I'm going into real detail about this, like I have some personal experience. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But there's fucking free porn all over the fucking world, you know. If you want to see somebody that look like one of your favorite wrestlers out there fucking, I'm pretty sure they have a fucking clip on YouPorn or some shit you can go watch. You can go watch the fake Charlotte Flair get banged out by 3 black dudes. So that's not it either. What is it? What's missing, WWE? Well, I'll fucking tell you. You don't make stars anymore. Their star machine maker is broken. I don't know if they forgot how to, or if times have changed and there's just way too much content and the waters are now more competitive. They don't have a monopoly like they used to on all things sports entertainment, or all things sports, or all things content. There's just too much. There's too much. It was easy to make a star in the 90s because, especially after they got rid of WCW, that was pretty much their only main competitor. And you push somebody to the moon like The Rock or Stone Cold, and there's no one else watching anything else as far as wrestling is related, then they're going to be a star. Now, there's just so many options. And people don't care like they used to. Even the hardcores. The hardcores aren't as hardcore. I mean, there are some that, will see Roman Reigns as a star. But to me, he's just a WWE star. He's not a transcendent star. Someone that could be like The Rock or kind of like John Cena. But mostly The Rock is the the platform there. He's the blueprint of what that looks like. Kind of like Hulk Hogan was before him. Stone Cold similarly, but he doesn't do movies anymore. You know, transcendent household names. Pretty sure there's people listening to this right now don't even know who fuck Roman Reigns is. Just know that he's the one that looks like Jason Momoa. That guy. I can't see him in movies. I can't see him blowing up and being this gigantic, you know, worldwide attraction. I can't see that happening. And I can't really put my finger on what exactly broke their star-making abilities. I know that the wealth of content has something to do with it, but I also know that their product has something to do with it as well. Their product is, you know, kind of tame now. Undertaker said it on a Joe Rogan podcast. It's just the balls are gone. There's no more tough guys. There's no more edge to their program. And I'm not saying that they have to say bad words like poopy and doo-doo and fucking piss. I don't know how poopy and doo. Those are not bad words. God, Jesus. You know what I mean. The bad words aren't it. The chair shots aren't it. The titties and the ass ain't it. It's the edge of the programming. You know, it's gone. So that's a part of it too. And I think a huge part is they're sharing, besides all of the other content that's available, they're sharing those base fans that like to watch fights with people who now watch real fights like UFC. And once you become a UFC fan, let's say back when Brock first left, Brock Lesnar. When Brock Lesnar first left and transitioned to mixed martial arts, he took a chunk of wrestling fans with him. And once the wrestling fans who never saw mixed martial arts before started to watch UFC and see how real fights look and see somebody really get their fucking shit kicked in, get their shit punched in, and see them fall flat stiff, or see somebody really land a double leg takedown or really slam somebody and then punch them and elbow them, they stayed. And they would often watch wrestling and also the UFC, and there's no comparison. It's like you have to call one apples and you have to call one oranges because they're just so different, you know. And I hate to use that fucking cliche apples and oranges, but that's the only way I could put it. You know, you got to call one chicken, you got to call one fish. Okay, they're just two different meats. They're two different species. One, you're watching for storylines. You're watching for fake fights. You're watching for outcomes and who's getting pushed and who's not, and you know who's turning heel and who's turning face. All this stuff. You know, you're more so looking at wrestling for the storylines, and you're watching UFC for the pure violence. Okay, and Brock took those fans, adapted them to violence, and maybe the violence in the WWE just didn't do it for him anymore. And now that the violence isn't doing it for him anymore, the storylines have to now carry the load, right? But the storylines might not be doing it for him anymore because they're different. They're not like they used to be. So there's nothing there to keep them. So they lost a ton of fans that way. Not me. I knew about UFC before Brock transitioned. I started watching, I want to say right around when Matt Hughes took the belt from Carlos Newton with that power bomb. That's what got me. Because I didn't watch it live. I was watching it on Spike TV, and I was watching the highlights of Matt Hughes' career. And he literally power bombed this person. And at the time, I was a hardcore wrestling nerd, like I said. So him power bombing somebody in real life, people, slammed him, knocked him out. Knocked out Carlos Newton with a power bomb. Carlos Newton had him in a triangle choke. Matt Hughes lifted him up, pressed him up against the cage so he can rest there, and then power bombed him. Now, it was later discovered that Matt Hughes was choked out by that triangle, and that's why he power bombed him like that. He just slammed him. But the ref saw Newton out first, therefore Matt Hughes was the champion. That's neither here nor there. So I was in then. So when Brock jumped into the pool, I was like, holy shit, how is he going to fare against these real martial artists? Like, I knew that Brock was big and strong. Like, on paper, he's just supposed to run through everybody. But big and strong don't always win. Just ask Royce Gracie at UFC 1. Okay? So what am I saying here? What am I saying? What's the problem with WWE? I don't know. I don't know. But I will always have that nostalgia feeling for them. And I'll always watch the big three, maybe. I didn't watch what's the other one, Survivor Series. I didn't watch that one. But I did watch the Royal Rumble, and maybe I'll watch WrestleMania this year, depending on how the card looks. And I shouldn't feel that way. I'm hardcore. I'm a lifelong. But right now I'm at the point where it's maybe. Maybe. Anyway. So remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. I've said that already. Oh yeah, I was going to give you guys a word to comment. So please comment the word chair. Symbolizes for getting hit in the head with the chair. My thing is, the children watching this, right? I wonder if they do what we used to do. Because we used to fuck each other up. I mean, we were at that funny age where we knew wrestling was fake, but we also treated it as though it was real. So we would fuck each other up. We would hit each other with chairs and, have wrestling matches in the living room. I wonder if kids are still doing that now. Having horseplay. Is that what they call it? Horseplay. Another weird fucking word. What does that even mean, horseplay? Who came up with it? It just seems like two very different things. One's an animal and one is an action. Horse and play. Whatever. I wonder if kids still do that. Or if they just do it on video games now because they're too afraid to touch each other. And I'm not even talking about Rona. I'm talking about just in general. It seems like kids are afraid to touch each other. They're afraid to be in each other's space. They're afraid to get a little ugly. They're afraid to bump their elbows and scrape up their knees. So they, instead of having this horseplay, I'm not even going to call it that anymore. I'm going to call it something else like, I don't know, fucking well play. Instead of having cold play, I'm going to call it that. Instead of having this cold play, they sit around playing the fucking video game. And that's how they get their violent shtick. Or their, not shtick. I think inherently boys have energy. Just aggressive energy. And we got to get it out. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. I think it's biology. We have this aggressive energy we have to release. We have to. It's science. Trust me. Didn't you know I was a fucking scientist? This energy, we usually used to get it out with Coldplay. We got it out by, going to the park, playing on the monkey bars, wrestling around, joining sports teams, football, wrestling, working out. And now as adults watching the kids, it's like they get all of their aggressive energy out playing video games. It's like, and especially they're playing these ultra violent video games like GTA. I love fucking GTA. But you're getting your aggression out by fucking shooting a hooker in the face. What? What are you doing? It's like, go out there and fucking throw the football around, you fucking future murderer. You're a future murderer. No, they're not. That's been disproven. I am one of those kids that grew up in an era in which they thought when you were playing Mortal Kombat or the original GTA or some shit, you were going to grow up to be a killer. You're going to grow up to be a psychopath or a sociopath. No, I just grew up. It's a fucking video game. It's for play. People love to push absolutes on certain shit. It's like, just because I mean, you could have said the same thing about movies, you know? All these ultra violent movies existed forever. People get shot and stabbed and killed. It's like millions of people are watching this shit. So are we creating millions of murderers? Are we creating millions? Who the fuck? Somebody just ran past my window like a gazelle. No, are we creating millions and millions of future murderers just because they went to go watch Friday the 13th? No, we're not. Go fuck yourself. I don't even remember what the fuck I was talking about anymore. Oh yeah, boyish aggression or male aggression. We got to get it out, and it's not toxic, people. I don't like probably gonna catch some shit for even talking about male aggression, because people don't realize that that's fucking biology, and we have to. I mean, most men with normal testosterone levels, we love to be active. We have to do something. Unless you're just a fat tub of shit, then your testosterone levels are probably really low, or you're just a really frail piece of shit stick, and your testosterone levels are probably really low. But if you're a normal guy, we have to do it, and there's nothing wrong with it. Being aggressive doesn't always, having aggressive energy, to me, that doesn't mean you're gonna go home and beat your fucking wife or beat up your girlfriend, or sorry for being stereotypical. You're not gonna go home and beat up your fucking partner or your boyfriend. You're not gonna start a fucking fist fight. That's not what it means. It's just we have different energy levels, That's why one does the fucking and the other one gets fucked. Normally it's men that's doing the fucking. We gotta just do the fucking. That little move, that motion there, is that doing it for you? Yeah. I mean, most of the time, we have to be the aggressors. We have to show that, I want you in that way. You're turning me on. You're making me all hot and bothered. We have to show that. And then we have to be the aggressor to, when they're saying, oh no, please stop. No, don't. You can't do this. Yeah, I really don't mean it. If you were really holding on to your shirt, I would not be able to pull it off this easily. Like, you could just stop saying no. You just shut up. Just sit there. Shut the fuck up. You know what you want. We both know what we're doing. I'm about to fuck you. You're about to get fucked. Okay? But, that that's the case 9 times out of 10. But, there is occasions where you will run into an aggressive woman and she will just take your shit and she'll just be like, and the guy more than likely won't be saying no as she's ripping his pants off and then just plowing him. Well, not plowing him. I mean, unless someone out there likes that, by all means. But you know what I mean? Just fucking pinning him up against the wall or the bed, just ramming him. I said it again. Yeah, maybe I'm having some Freudian slips. I'm not. Exit only. But anyway. Oh, there we go. Fuck that previous comment of chair. Comment exit only. Comment exit only. Exit only. If you are currently listening to this or watching. And I think that's gonna be it for me today. I think that's gonna be it. Don't worry, I'll be right back. Just, run into the store. I gotta grab some fucking flushable wipes. Right? Bye.